Hello and
So,
welcome everybody to the Byzantian Brews podcast with your hosts Chaotic Jexag and
dear Dev,
hello. Yeah, we'll workshop it.
yeah,
Okay, so how have we been, my good friend?
it's been a busy 2 weeks.
I can
I was
imagine.
actually down at Comic Con
Mhm,
last week,
mhm.
and this week has been almost as busy, um, but just events left, right, and centre, and some of them cancelled, and I didn't totally have to pay 2 Ubers to get back from one that cancelled this morning.
Oh,
Uh, it's been here, there, and everywhere lately. Been
it
good busy,
happens.
but
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to a good 4 or 5 days of just not having to do too much.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be nice. It would be nice to be normal. Um, so I have a lot of backlog stuff to talk about.
So as do
Tonight
I.
was kind of nice actually. It was just
Uh huh.
there was a it was basically the hospice is representing at a choir performance down
Right.
Birmingham Town Hall. That was really nice actually.
Oh.
Um, yes, it's really nice. Uh, did the usual Christmas stuff, and it was all very nice and wholesome and very, very Christian.
Hmm.
But they also had like, some slightly different stuff. Like they did some a couple of Eastern European and Catalan carols that you don't typically hear.
Hmm.
They're very nice. Three different choirs had like a hospital choir, that very, very good.
Lovely.
Uh, Something called the Phoenix Choir. Uh,
Uh
they went and there was a schoolgirls choir that were almost as good as the other two, despite them being what 13 or something. But
Nice.
yeah, and given that because we're volunteering, it was free. It's a very nice Christmassy night of it. So I'm all ready now for the big
Hey.
day.
Festive and free.
And Comic Con was the opposite. And the Comic Con was the opposite of that. It was
Mm.
3 days of chaos. It's just I did so much. You've seen the photos of that I did manage to take.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I was busy. That's the stuff I could take. I couldn't take many photos at the actual Q&As and stuff.
Hmm.
But I could, but you know what it's like. So what did I see? Oh my god. Um, so Oxventure,
Yes.
a D&D
Vaguely.
podcast that do. Yes, they were there.
Ooh.
Had a Q&A booth. I got to ask them a question about edgy media they like, which I've
Hmm.
always wanted to do. It really doesn't matter who I ask. I've always wanted to ask that to someone. Um, then there was God. They did a live show which I got access tickets to, so I was literally front row.
Hmm.
It was like Clue or Cluedo, depending on where you're from. But D&D, so it's very very silly. That's Oxventure for you. Got a poster signed for 10 quid.
Nice.
Saturday was the God of War cast. We're doing a thing, so I caught
Uh-huh.
that. That was really nice.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
Seemed like nice people. Gave a few with like the standard press answers, but there was a couple of interesting you know, answers and questions from it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then there were what was it, Sunday or Saturday. I sat through 2 hours of cosplay competition.
Cool.
Um, which which the person I went with had some strong opinions on the winner. They were not fans. To be fair, there were a few where it was a bit like there was a lot of well done cute stuff, but there
Hmm.
was a lot of well done cute stuff. So it's
Mm.
like the guy who rocked up in really authentic looking like berserk armor
Mm.
probably should have got a mention. You know,
Yeah.
there was a guy. I don't like Call of Duty. There's a guy who did like a proper Call of Duty Zombies cosplay, like with like, the armor and the prosthetics. It looked amazing.
Hmm.
He didn't get a mention.
Aw.
I That kind of irks me. That's a
Mm.
lot of effort, and I don't think that's already been picked up on.
Mm.
Um, So yes, strong opinions on the cosplay. Well, at least the winners anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and Sunday, the only thing I managed to fall into was a Q&A session with the Baldur's Gate 3 cast, who seemed quite
Ooh,
nice.
nice.
Um, yes, and apparently I learned some things like the guy who voices the Dark Urge does a Twitch streams where he plays obviously Baldur's Gate 3.
Uh-huh.
And apparently he was playing through it, and he's obviously playing as his own character,
Hmm.
I guess. And there's a line that he did, which sounded fine on the day, but
Yeah.
sounds really weird when he heard it back. I don't know what it's in context to, but the line was, "That's way too big." But the way he said it, but the way he said, but the way he said it, he really stressed the "way" part. So it's like, "That's way too big."
Uh-huh.
I guess. So that was fun. Um, yes, see my nice folks. I got to do media stuff. I bumped into a publisher for Byzantia, perhaps. So that was nice.
Oh.
And I have bought some of their lovely books. They're like micro books, £4 to £8. Cannot
Uh-huh.
recommend them enough.
Nice.
Um, and took a lot of nice photos. Yes, Evie met Evie. That was
I saw that as like,
basically a
oh,
fatter Evie than me on the
yeah,
day.
that's like the ones they have in Japan, right? They're
Thing is,
that kind
I
of
was
type.
yes, I was debating getting one like that, but
Mm.
um, I wanted my arms.
Yeah, and getting through corridors and something like that, and I imagine getting through the convention when it's packed in that is
No
horrific.
fingers. Yeah, no fingers too.
Yeah.
That's definitely helps. I wanted arms with my get
Mm.
up, so I want to paint a cool dragon. That
I saw.
it's just to test out some army speed paints.
Mm.
Yeah, I might be converting to the speed paints because they are really quite good.
So what? Why are they
It
called
takes
speed
half the
paints?
time.
Oh, you can't explain.
But yeah, they're really good. And I just did little. It looks
Mm.
like old Spyro, so I sort of ran with it.
Fairs.
It's worth going, but
Mm.
it was yeah, an intensive 3 days. I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad it's over in hindsight.
Yeah, I was planning on going one of the days, but like the weekend before, I was at a convention, so I didn't want to do both in like one, yeah,
No,
right
you
after the
got
after.
you overcon yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And I felt like
Yes.
the Magic Con I was going to was a little bit more important for me personally. So,
Like, if you want to do Comic Con,
yeah.
it does a bit of everything.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think that was just me, possibly. Oh, there we go.
Hmm,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, this storm is
I would say with
potentially
Comic
affecting
Con,
my
it's a bit
internet.
everything.
Yeah, yeah, Comic Con has a bit of everything.
Okay. So I would say over if it wasn't for the company I had, which
Hmm.
was John C, lovely company. Would like to see her again. Um, I would say I enjoyed the UK Gaming Expo a lot more
Mm.
because it was all tabletop and it was all dice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Comic Con, you got a nice mix. But if you know what you like, you
Well,
know.
yeah, this is it. And even amongst like, okay, you might say, oh, well, I'm more of an anime person than a tabletop person. Even so, Comic Con's a
Hmm.
bit iffy on that front because you get some of the classic stuff like Berserk and JoJo, and even further, but like back like old Naruto and Bleach stuff. But a lot of the stuff there as well is the
Yeah.
more modern, newer stuff like My Hero
Demon
and
Hunter, Demon
whatever the
Slayer, oh,
yeah,
Demon
and that sort of stuff.
Slayer, lots of
And
that.
I find
We'll say
yeah.
I saw quite a lot of JoJo actually.
Huh. But yeah, I think one thing with Comic Con is that
Yeah,
usually with anime, you're into one or the other, like the classics or the modern stuff. Usually there's not much overlap when people like both,
yes,
unless it's something like One Punch Man, where it's like, okay,
very.
this is clearly very not what's the word derivative of something classic kind of thing, but parodying it.
Yes. Yeah, as I quite liked Gintama for that. That
Mm,
was very non-subtle about what it was parodying. That's made it work. But that's probably considered old now because
yeah.
old is like 10 years old now.
Mm,
Yeah, internet old is not old. It's weird. Um,
yeah.
yeah, so it's a lot to catch up on, but uh, we got stuff to talk about when it comes up. We've got plenty of books. I've got a choice of three, and for a whole, it cost me 12 quid for all of them.
Mhm. Nice.
Yeah. Uh,
So I
how has it been on your end?
I've been doing a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of stuff for my YouTube shenanigans, and of course I was at on Sunday last this Sunday, I think the Sunday before that, probably at this point. I was at Axiom's 10th anniversary. If you don't know, Axiom is a company that does basically second hand, well, trading card stuff for Magic and now Lorcana as well. And they usually have conventions once or twice a year at the Edgbaston Cricket Ground. There's other places they have conventions at, but that's the one in Birmingham. So I was there playing some Commander and something called Party Box with some folks from the Pleasant Kenobi Discord.
Mm.
Pleasant Kenobi being one of the, I guess, biggest MTG creators. I'd say he's like up there because he talks to like Professor a lot, who is the biggest MTG creator in terms of like view count and subs and stuff. And I got to actually have a curry with him on Friday night, which was pretty funny.
That's nice.
So yeah,
Was
I
you were
got.
just in the same place, or did it?
No, we got, like, because I'm in his Discord because I'm one of his Patreon people.
Oh,
It was an organized event. So that was fun. But yeah, on the
okay,
Sunday,
fair enough.
I traded in my binder, got a bunch of, got like my admission back and my tickets. I played in Pleasant Kenobi's. It's called the Plane Chase Chaos event, where a bunch of people submitted ideas for custom planes. Plane Chase being so it's a format where you have a deck in the middle which is a plane. So it's not any
Right.
other card type. You can't destroy it, but you can't interact with it. But it will say things like, all creatures get haste and trample, and if you roll chaos, creatures could all get +10/+10 until the end of the turn, or something like that. And any player can roll a dice. They'll either get plane chase, or they'll get chaos, or they'll get blank, and you can spend mana to do it again. And it's stuff like that. It basically adds like a chaotic element to it, but people submitted their own designs to the point where things were happening like I created a 2/1 emu. Somebody on another table later on made like 6 food tokens. And on top of that, there was moments where Pleasant Kalobi would be on the mic saying, "Okay, everybody, look at Scryfall random and draw and put on the stack a random non-land card, completely at random. Just put it on the
I
stack."
do want. So there's emu cards now.
Uh,
Have
so
been.
the first plane that the event started with was a plane called Australia,
Right.
and
Okay.
yeah, when you rolled chaos, you made a 2/1 emu. Specifically, that wasn't a bird because they didn't want to like give bird decks like mine too much power, even though it turned out it was kind of not important anyway. um, but yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
There was something that added a questing beast counter to a creature. Questing beast being a popular meme in Magic, where it has like 8 lines of text and no one can remember what it does. And it was a lot of fun. And because it was a ticketed
Hmm.
event, I actually got some prize tickets out of it because everyone who participated got prize tickets, which was novel. And I will be trying to print off my own copies of those Plane Chase test cards as well for future things. I also got a few tokens and other things from a artist called RK Post, who also signed my Covetous Dragon. You look that up. That is a card from Urza's Saga, so it's an old ass card. It's not a good card by any means, but it is a rare from an old set. So I figured if anything of his would get signed, it would be that.
That's cool.
It's not like what what Urza's. So I'm gonna look up what when Urza's Saga got released. 1998. So it's
1990. That's a good year for edgy stuff.
yeah, 1998. So it's the oldest card in my collection, and it's I think that pull up one of the yeah. But like commons of it are like well, sorry, commons. Unsigned copies are worth like £2 or £3, but signed copies are worth like 20. So I was like, you know what? It was like £2 to get it signed. I was like, that's just money. Even if I keep it, it's still like worth doing either which way, and it's cool. So that was that, and yeah, and Party
Add £8 of
Box,
value for your card.
yeah, and
I
Party
would.
Box too. So Party Box is a Magic the Gathering format that isn't a Magic the Gathering format technically.
Oh,
So, well,
okay.
it can be Magic the Gathering. So the idea of Party Box is it's a deck in the center, right? So everyone draws from the same deck, and you could put anything in there. No kidding, you can put anything in there. It's like a cube, so you draft it, or you draft hands and play it Commander style or whatever. Some Party Box I've seen have played all Magic stuff. Some have played uncards and playtest cards and stuff that's not legal in Black Border Magic. But the originator, so Pleasant Kenobi, came up with the idea, or I think so anyway. And his Party Box, I haven't played it, but his Party Box in the few that I've played, I played somebody else called Belial's Party Box, has stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh cards in it, and Pokemon cards in it, and whatever weird things you can find. I think there was a
That's fun.
Lego card, an Uno reverse card. And of course, like as the party box person, you go, okay, this has this effect, this does this, etc. Blue Eyes White Dragon has 3,000 power and 2,500 toughness, and you can just play him because he doesn't cost any mana, but you have to tribute to monsters to play him because he's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and that's how that works.
Something.
It is a very, very silly format, but it is a very funny one.
Okay. My screen is just like really weird about now.
Oh,
I don't know why it's doing that.
yeah, that was Axiom Games Con. Other than that, I've just been doing a lot of work and preparing for Christmas and stuff, that sort of thing. So, shall we move on to our
It's on my
first
screen.
section? I've lost
Yes.
I've lost my little thing which has all my sections on it. Where's me little there it is, me notepad. The not ePad. So, let's go right into tabletop book club for the week, shall we? We haven't done that in a while.
Well, yeah, let me fish it out and hold up. Right. Let me just fish it out. I think
Okay.
my screen looks like it's drunk somehow. I'm not sure how that happened.
Oh.
Hmm. Okay. I'm going to just test something. Won't be a minute.
Okay, doke. We'll be right back after these messages from our today's sponsor. Uh, Goose messages for you. Are you a goose? Do you need to send long distance
Surfshark.
message? Surfshark, I
Always.
wish. While I'm at it, I'm gonna find
Appears
my.
to have done it. Just not sure why my screen just like started getting all wobbly.
Huh.
Like the screen's drunk. That was weird. Hmm. Very strange. Anyway, what I got was something I actually got from the car. Hang on a second.
Uh-huh.
Let's grab something quick. I think someone's at the door. I'll be a sec.
Okay, doke.
It is good. Just even suspense a bit.
Leaving everybody in suspense. Ooh, suspenders. Not suspenders, but Sus! Mine is actually still in the packaging right now. That's how crazy this situation is. Okie dokie. Right, sorry. Trying to avoid dead air, but, these things happen. Just setting up and making sure everything is alright for this section. While my co-host returns, I'm going to enjoy some of my hot cup of tea before it goes cold. I am absolutely loathing this weather we're having. There is a frightful storm. Well, I mean, it's kind of mostly dissipated now, but it's still like, I'm still on edge. I'm still on edge thinking that this storm is gonna like come back and blow my route off into the middle ether. Which will be pretty terrible, actually.
And we're good.
Oh, there we are.
All
Right.
right. There we are. Yes, so it's called. This is one of the. This is from. What's the publisher? Critical Kit is
Ooh.
the publisher. They're really. They do like micro books. They're really quite good. This one's for level 9 characters, a whole
Mm-hmm.
party of them. They do solo stuff as well. That's something I wanted to have a go with is solo play. It can be done.
Mm-hmm.
This one's called Morbeck's Museum of the Macabre, which is I saw it and thought that's me. That's very very me.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a dedicated horror scenario. As I know in Christmas, but I just think it's kind of fun. So it's basically uh, the party is sent to investigate a horror museum and just check out the exhibits and just
Mm.
have a look. Nothing will go wrong. Absolutely honest. Which is why you're being paid 2,000 gold to because it's going to be completely fine. There's nothing weird about it whatsoever.
Hmm.
It's very like I don't know if you've ever seen it, but stuff like Creep Show or Tales from the Crypt. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Oh yes. I'm picturing it.
Yes, it's very much that kind of vibe where the exhibits are obviously out to get you,
Hmm.
cursed or something, because that's always a good horror fare. Um, there's basically let's have a look. How many exhibits are we talking? Oh, there's a map. That's nice. Just the one map. It's like an encounter rather than a whole scenario, the whole like session's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 9 areas, including a gift shop, which I think is just kind of cute. It's just kind of fun. Um, yeah, it's just a series of potentially fatal encounters for level 9 characters
Hmm.
with a nice, 2,000 gold to sweeten the pot if you do manage to make out alive.
Hmm.
But I just saw it and thought this is going to be something I'm going to enjoy. I was not I was not wrong about that. Let's find some highlights. There's a nice riddle, classic. Oh, well, that's fun. There's a cloakroom, um, and there's a 1 in 6 chance of picking up a cloak of displacement.
Oh.
That's just a thing. There's a
Hmm.
one, no matter what cloak you pick, there's a one. Well, if you roll a 6, you get a cloak of displacement. That's kind of fun. So there's some Puppet King. Let's have a look. Okay. Creepy puppets, always good. It's got the single map of the museum, not in fine detail, but it's sort of just got the basic setup. And let's have a look. Oh, the taxidermy rats. That's always nice.
Right.
Okay, let's have a look. You know, rats swarmers. Rats swarmers. We forgot to fought those just yesterday's session actually.
Hmm.
Um, whoa. It's like bad taxidermy too. It's like they're bolted on like a bird head onto a cat for no reason. It's like mad science taxidermy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Um, what's the gift shop? Okay. Uh, that's just honest. That's just you get gold. That's just a cool gift shop.
Nice.
Oh, and there's urns with. Oh no, this is what scared me when I read it the first time. This thing potentially gives people wand of fireballs, and I don't like the thought of giving players wand of fireballs.
Hmm.
I just have a thing about people getting a little too happy with their fireballs.
Yeah.
It's just been my DM sense. Do you ever get that? So some of the
Sometimes.
horror is for the players, and some of the horror is for the DM.
It's a spooky session
So
for all
I'd say it's a
involved.
really fun little module.
Hmm.
That's not even a full session either. It's just a location that you can put into any setting where it feels remotely appropriate.
Hmm.
So they've got two others as well. And they're both swamp based because I thought, what if I try and tie them together? One of them is only really works as solo play, but
Yeah.
I did find it was really useful if you wanted to play a cleric or paladin, and you wanted to test out your character,
Hmm.
having them actually find bits of their god slash temple, because that's kind of what the whole solo one's actually about.
Yeah.
It's a really good character tester. The other one is a classic swamp crawl with some sanity effects thrown in, because they do like to use the weirder mechanics, so they're very solid. What you picked up this week,
So I
last
have.
week or whenever?
This is issue 2 of Warhammer 40k Imperium. This is the one that came with the Necron Warriors trio. So I am in the
Oh
process of
yes, I
painting up
remember
my
that.
Necron Warriors. I've got them base code. I just need to add the details to them. But this has a little like battle record for your Necron Warriors. So it's got like D6 like name
Oh,
chart,
that's fun.
damage chart, gifts chart, and origins. Give you some ideas of start doing the whole like roleplay side of Warhammer, which is pretty cool. Then it got some blurb on the Zarichan dynasty. Probably butchered the
Right?
name. And the Warriors of Macragge on the Ultramarine side. Gives you some
They're the
building
space,
instructions.
of course they are.
Yeah, painting instructions. Pretty cool stuff. It gives you information on how to use your Citadel
Mhm.
tools if you got them, which is fair and good and cool. And even a
Quite
note on saying thin your paints. Yeah, draw the brush back, twisting so the
that's a good
bristles form a
lesson to
point.
learn, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it just gives you painting instructions, and then it has a. My favorite bit of all of these is it has a scenario that uses stuff. So we've got the Necron Warriors versus the
I was going to
Primaris
ask about
Lieutenant.
that because they usually
Yeah,
have something.
so you've got your 3 Necron Warriors versus your Primaris Lieutenant, which you got in the first issue. So it's an escape
Yep.
thing. So you've got to like basically run past the Primaris Lieutenant, and that's your victory condition. Whereas the Primaris Lieutenant has to just kill the guys basically.
You
So
kill the
it's
Necron
yeah,
warriors.
but it's a little bit more
I
interesting than
quite
just
like
kill enemy or kill enemy.
kill
You know,
stuff.
yeah, which is nice.
I do quite like the introductory magazines because they are quite good for having like encouraging different types of scenarios very early on.
Yeah.
Like I do sometimes collect the old Lord of the Rings ones. 'Cause they do a really good job of just explaining for novices how the Lord of the Rings actually is, and just different scenario types with troops that are actually designed to be quite good at them.
Hmm.
think that's quite important as well. They're not just like, oh, cool minis with magazine. It's
Yeah,
just here's miniatures that can actually do this thing quite well, and here's a scenario that encourages you to do those things to do
exactly.
that.
And
Um,
it has to be said that price-wise, the miniatures are nothing to be sniffed at as well. Like the price point for them is like pretty alright for what you're getting. Because like for like eight or what was it like eight or 9 quid for yeah, it's like eight. No, so this was like seven, and then there was 8 and 9 for the ones afterwards. But even at that point, like issue 3, which I might just like at getting picking up, comes with 3 assault intercessors, Macragge and some Macragge blue paint. So you get like a good half a kill team's worth of stuff and some paint for like what 2 coffees worth of yeah. But I think I want to pick up 4
about right?
definitely. I mean, this is like quite an old issue at this point, but issue 4 has these Scorpec destroyers, which looks really freaking cool.
Oh god, yeah, that's a disgusting model as well.
Hmm.
Played against that once or twice.
But I will try
It
and get
just
more
makes
of
Space Marines
these.
disappear.
So watch this space.
Yeah. Um, Glad I went to that con. I've got 2 more books to talk about.
Whee!
Um, yeah. What we got next?
So critical fumble is up next. Do we have a critical fumble for this week?
Did I remember it? If I did one, that's I think there is one. You know what? Yes, there is one, and it's a protracted one. Bloodborne remains the sole Souls-like game that does not have any other release other than the PlayStation.
Oh, well, that's weird.
People keep asking for people keep asking for Bloodborne because it's a good game and they want to play it, but
Hmm.
they want it on PC. Reticent about giving them it.
Yeah.
Not great on that one, but it's a really solid one. It's just I don't know why Sony just doesn't re-release it. They would make money. Just port it onto PC.
Yeah. Honestly.
Just do a DCC port and just
Hmm. Oh,
been
sorry.
sitting dormant since like 2014. I want to say
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a relatively old game by modern standards. So just do more Bloodborne, especially when
Yeah.
Sony's like endorsing stuff like Concord, which is crashing and burning within like a month. Bloodborne would make the money they need right now.
Hmm.
That's an ongoing fumble, I think. There, uh, and I didn't want to mention the usual suspects because I'm sure they'll pop up again. They seem to do that. Um, any on your end this time?
Honestly, no. I don't even have a Wizards of the Coast fumble this time
Oh,
around. Amazingly, they have dodged the hammer this time around in true incredible fashion.
no, say that. I just say that I just remembered something.
Oh no.
You're not off the hook. There's a very recent one actually.
Uh-huh.
So know like how there was the whole thing of some people were saying orcs are racist. They're black
Right.
people.
Uh-huh.
I think some people in that crowd have finally found what the Dark Elves are about.
Oh.
They're doing it again,
Oh dear.
and that yeah, they've got to the orcs. They think that they're trying to do the same to the Dark Elves now, or Drow, or
Hmm.
whichever you prefer to call them. Which is a
I
shame because I kind of like the Drow. I think they're evil in interesting ways.
yeah, I think the only thing I can really say on that note about the Drow is I do get that it's a little bit weird that they're dark skinned, just underdark creatures. I don't know if it's like is it a camo thing? Maybe it's camo. I was
No, I
thinking
just
like
thought they.
I suppose like darkness and like I get that. Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, there is a precedence, I guess, in history for darkness being black and being evil being associated with that kind of rhetoric. I get that, but like we've evolved past that thing now. Anyway, it's fine. But I guess my hang up is maybe there's a precedence for saying that, I don't know, dark elves should actually be albinos because they live deep underground and don't get sunlight.
It should probably.
Yeah, but I just don't.
Yeah, that's see what worry about then is then you'd get some of those same people going, where's the representation?
Well, yeah, yeah, he can't win either way.
So what are
So
they
why did you
starting
make them
again?
white?
But they
Well,
probably should be albinos.
apparently there's a bad history
They live,
thing, so
live
we went by
underground
the
where they get sunlight.
science instead. You're gonna argue with science now as well as history?
Yeah, they don't get sunlight, so they're
Yeah,
like albinos now.
yeah.
That would actually make them look far scarier, I think. They're
Hmm.
just slightly. You ever seen like The Descent? They looked a bit like that. I think they'd be
Hmm.
quite
Hmm.
terrifying. Yeah, the Underdark is weird because goblins are down there. They're green.
Yeah.
They're not
Dwergar also
albinos.
get this
Probably should
weird,
be.
like, okay, they're like corrupted, evil dwarves that are also ashen skinned. Maybe it stems from like I don't know Vlad the Impaler and like Dracularian aesthetics of like it's like a sallow death like look to them. It's not racist. It's just like weird magical bullshit. I don't know how to
So yeah,
explain
that
this.
that answers most of D&D though.
Well, yeah, yeah, weird
We
magical
don't know why
bullshit.
something works in D&D without magic, did it? Although I think it's based on when they were first written, though, because they
Hmm.
wanted to have like a really clear-cut conflict between these guys are obviously on the right, and these guys are obviously dicks.
Yeah.
So they literally called them dark elves, as it
See,
would be the most uncomplicated thing ever.
See, I don't see people complaining about which one was it. Oh, I can't remember which one in the Spyro series it was. But do you remember Dark Spyro?
Which era was that? Because I
That
think
was
I've seen
like
it.
that was like late PS2 era. I think like Spyro the Eternal Night or something. The one with Cinder's in.
Right.
He gets like
I do vaguely
corrupted and
remember. I
yeah.
do vaguely
I
remember it.
don't see people complaining about Dark Spyro. I don't see people complaining about Dark Link. You know.
Remember Jack and Daxter did a whole game about that.
Yeah, yeah, Dark Jack, suddenly when you turn dark and evil, your skin goes like weirdly like blackish or like grayish. But it's not like a brownish one like an actual skin color might be. It's like, you
No,
know,
it's black.
yeah, yeah, it's like tone black, not sorry, shade black, not like brown black. And it's like brr.
So what you're saying is, if Marvel did like a Dark Panther, it would just be a white dude. I really love that idea.
They just remake Black Panther and put him in a white suit. Well, he's an albino, isn't he? Lives underground. Oh, I
Well,
don't get
they
it.
never mention any albinos in Wakanda. There might be.
Yeah, you don't know. That would piss off a lot of people, and I would just giggle just uncontrollably. Like, hey, come on. You're gonna have a go at
No,
people with
you
a skin
wanted the
condition
reverse
now?
of Black Panther, so we had
Yeah,
we had to go down the obvious route.
yeah. Even like Shadow the Hedgehog is a black hedgehog compared to a blue hedgehog. You're gonna say Shadow the Hedgehog's racist now? I don't get this line of logic like at all. Oh, because they're evil and they're dark and black colored vaguely means it's racist. What? Huh?
Screen's doing something with. There we are.
Yeah. No one
And
wants
we're
to.
back.
No
I
one
think.
wants to talk about though how the Dark Elves are actually weirdly like very feminist, like Utopia, because it's a matriarchal society. No, no, yeah, it's weird.
Oh yeah, they're really. Yeah,
Dark Elves are in this weird space where one group would call them like racist caricatures, and the other would call them woke. Neither
they're
camp
very
likes
evil.
them.
That's what like they're interestingly evil.
Yeah. Uh,
I mean, one of people might want to say, "Oh, they're Muslims," but they literally worship an openly evil spider goddess.
That's
and
also
have a
true.
matriarchal society that literally treats men like second-class citizens.
Yeah.
They're very openly saying, "Look at us, we're evil," but they
Mm.
do it in a very interesting way. So I kind of like how they are. At that point,
Yeah.
it's up to players going, "This one's slightly different," and then calling it a day. Um,
Uh,
I'd rather have like a couple of dozen drow that are player characters that aren't like that,
mm.
rather than just sterilize the entire drow lore just because it might get under someone's skin.
Yeah. Wait. But then Magic, sorry, Magic, D&D, even if it's something that's not controversial, they seem to be like watering everything down in 5.5 anyway. It's like, okay.
The thing that the worst part is don't replace it with anything. Okay, you don't like the lore, all right? You better replace it with something.
Yeah. You know what happens when you water down something that's cool as ice? You get slurry. Am I right? Anyway.
Okay, right. My screen has been so weird. What's it doing?
Oh no.
There we are.
There we are. Okay.
Hey,
So, that's critical fumble. I guess the other critical fumble is
my tech
Byzantian
issues,
Dev
yeah.
Street. Yeah, I guess I had to like replace my TV also gave up the ghost a couple weeks ago. I guess that's my critical fumble. Of its own accord, it was like slowly dying. It just wasn't. It started to like be slower to turn on each time I tried turning it on,
Hmm.
until it just stopped turning on entirely. Sad. It was just like nah. Something to do with the power supply, but I can't be asked to fix it.
Oh, that's nice. That's not a thing you can fix easily.
No. So, homebrew of the week. What we got this time?
I got a couple. Um,
Yay.
Inspired because partially by just wanting to homebrew something as a theme,
Mm-hmm.
and partially because I got the advent calendar that I've been given this year was from the Naturalist Museum. It's all covered in dinosaurs and stuff. I just want to do a small micro book that's just not quite dinosaurs because I think that would be neat.
Mm-hmm.
No other reason. I just think it'd be cool.
Seems
Okay,
legit.
we're behaving ourselves now. I mean, there's not enough of them in the main. There's not enough of them in the main book, and I don't think 5.5 will add loads of those.
mm.
Um, so I will apologise in advance for the Latin names because I want it to be authentic to people that study dinosaurs all day. So there's some fake Latin going on with this.
Yay.
So the first is Anguillosuchus. So it's basically because a Spinosaurid. So basically not a family of Spinosaurus, just a smaller version, a smaller
Mm-hmm.
subspecies of that. Um, they're quite traditional, really, in that they eat a lot of fish and eels, semi-aquatic, semi-aquatic,
Uh-huh.
and they're just kind of there to flesh out the world if you want to have just loads of dinosaurs, um, or lots of different species. So I designed the two I designed are like meant to be animals that would have reason to butt heads with each other naturally.
Yeah.
Um, so it's got the keen senses, hearing and smell. It can hold its breath up to 30 minutes because it's semi-aquatic. Make two claw attacks and has a base armor of 11, and it's got a meteor up +7 to hit, 2d10, at least 2d8 or 2d10 damage with every attack going. So it's a nasty fight if you do want it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because it's eats mostly fish. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to unless you deliberately wind it up. It's not going to bother with you. It's not
Mm.
its normal diet, frankly. And because I love the reflex rule so much, I just gave it tail attack reflex because I think that should be just usable everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, to sort of be put in the same counter, perhaps, is something called a punctumosaur, which is I was looking up potential ideas because a lot of the body types and body shapes look kind of the same for dinosaurs if you look at them enough.
Hmm.
Um, so I discovered like a slightly earlier offshoot of Triceratops that looked quite interesting. Uh, so basically, they were vaguely distantly related, but they were two-legged, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. So I sort of made one up based on that. So it's two-legged, got a beak like the rest of the family, but it's got like a big old crest with spikes around the edge. So my logic was, if it was going to get attacked, they would probably try and bite it from the front. But if you've got a big old head crest,
Hmm.
you're not really going to get around that. And even if you do, it's got spikes on it, so it's kind of pointless doing that.
Yeah.
It's literally just designed to say, "Don't bite me. I will hurt you."
Makes sense.
Um,
Spiky
there,
boys.
as for their special rules that make them different, is I like that so they headbutt things, because obviously when you got a big heavy skull, that's part of how you hurt things.
Yeah.
Um, but I like that if it moves and hits a target while with its headbutt, it becomes immune to being frightened until the start of its next turn because it's committing to the charge. It's not just going to give up.
Yeah.
It's already decided it's going to ram you now. So I thought that'd be just to keep it as a potential threat if you piss it off.
Makes
And a
sense.
frontal armor, which basically additional +2 armor if it gets attacks from the front. Because again, that made sense and was kind of interesting. Um, so the rules wise, there's not much radically different with these two. I just wanted to write a couple of dinosaurs that felt like they could theoretically have existed at some point,
Hmm.
and I want to make a small book of that so people can, or at least a small file, I guess, or folder of them, so people can have just easy access to different types of dinosaurs that aren't the same ones every time.
Uh-huh. I understand.
Good, we're back.
Sorry, I just went a little bit quiet.
Yeah, nothing too radical this week, but yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, before
Oh,
we continue, I just want to point out um these should also be
yeah.
available in most of your Forbidden Planets. There should be a lot of backlog. But I just want to point out to anyone who might be interested in getting some Imperium stuff, do not buy from eBay scalpers. Most of the Imperium stuff, in fact, near enough every issue, is, apart from the first issue, is still available, I believe, to buy on the Hatchet Printwork website. So do not pay scalper
Mm-hmm.
prices. Just a little PSA. Be good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
What are you eating?
I don't know what. For God's sake. Yes, pizza. That's lunch.
Ah.
Right.
But yeah.
Why does my screen have to be blue now? Right.
Oh no.
I want to see if I've got Word on, will it convince it to not decide to turn itself off?
Oh.
That'd be nice. I'll get that looked into. Maybe I'll just have it updated and that will somehow,
Hmm.
I don't know, convince it to not do that. That'd be nice. Well, so it's behaving again. That's good.
Yay.
I love technology. Technology is great. There we are. Yeah, what got next?
So let me just get my stuff up. So I have done three things on the thing, homebrews. So the first one
Homebrew,
is
sorry.
something
Yeah.
called Spectral Searchlight. This is a Ravnican card. I think it was in Commander Masters, but in various things. Because one of the things that they do have a few of in the Ravnica book is items and objects, but it's woefully kind of lackluster in general, as we all know. But the Spectral Searchlight is a little like lamp, basically, that gives mana in the card game. So I flavored it as a actual lamp that doesn't need fuel, so it emits light at all times without consuming fuel. You get a +1 to perception at night in dark places if you're the tuned user. Just a little tiny thing. It's a common wondrous item. Once per day as an action, the attuned user may recover one expended level 1 spell slot to a willing creature, or convert a spell slot to recover a spell slot 1 level higher than the expended slot for a willing creature. Essentially, the equivalent of giving yourself 1 mana, basically.
Okay.
So I've added a bit of blurb, which I will.
It seems passively useful.
Yeah, I figured. So that I added a bit of blurb based on the flavor text of the card, which I will not divulge on the stream. On the podcast. If you want to look, if you want to see the blurb of our homebrews, my homebrews this week, have a look in the Discord. You can join the Discord in the stream, or there's a few other ways of doing it, and download the Word documents. Yeah. Our second item is
yes. Unlike
Hmm?
unlike the stuff I intend to publish, this stuff is free. You
Yep.
can just have it. Not gonna chase you up or try and sue you for it or anything.
Our second item is actually from
Not that I know how to
Kaldheim.
sue you either.
Yeah, so our second item is from Kaldheim. It's the Nordic plane on for magic. It's called Gold Vein Pick. So it's another sort of common artifact item. Basically, my idea for this time around was a few items, effectively. I just thought items, objects, yes. So we got the Gold Vein Pick. It's a +1 weapon. It's a warhammer because it kind of looks like a warhammer and in the art. So it's got versatile like a warhammer does, and its special ability is striking gold. When the attuned user attacks a creature with a critical hit, the damage caused by this weapon causes part of the hit creature's body to turn gold at the impact point, creating 1d8 plus 1 gold's worth of rough gold ore. So it's a very minor effect. It's a very minor effect. But it can potentially make you a little bit of money on a critical hit.
It's like the not quite Midas touch.
Yeah.
It's the not quite Midas touch.
Because in the game, it just when it deals combat damage, you'll player create a treasure token. So it's not. It's actually a pretty good card actually for a common. But I thought something a little, because I like giving magic items that aren't necessarily powerful, but at least still do things.
I find that helps with D&D a lot because a lot of the mechanics favour spellcasters late game. If you give martial classes access to magic weapons really early on, it becomes less of a problem.
Yeah.
It's cool. That seems to be a thing that I like beasties and creatures and stuff. And you're quite good at items.
Yeah, I try my
Quite a lot
best.
of items. You could do a whole book of them, I think, at that point.
I think I might do. I might actually start putting these into like a collection, so I might adjust some of the stuff to make it look prettier, and then still keep it free and available on our Discord, and maybe put it on World Anvil or whatever, and have like nice printable versions. So our last thing, I did make a creature in the end. I can't find the card for it, because I have the physical cards or everything as a reference point. But I added one more Eldrazi into the mix. This one's called a Void Pouncer. I think did I do this one already? Void Pouncer?
I'll Google the image and I'll see if it reminds me of it. Carry on as if I haven't for now.
Uh-huh. Hold on 1 second, I've got on navigation. Because it's possible I use this as a template for something else in terms of, because I like to try and keep them in the same template, so sometimes I will open up another document to reference for something else.
The Void Pouncer.
Or it might be already on the Discord thing.
How do you know you pounced on the void? That is an existential
How do you
question.
know you pounce on the void? That's a very good
You
question.
can't feel the void. How would you?
Oh no, it is already in the document. It is already on the document, so I think I've already done it. Okay, so that was just 2 this week. Next week I do have about how many have I got? Hang on a minute. So next week we've got one, two, three, four, five. These are very similar to each other. So they are five things. They are five.
Ooh.
So look forward to that. And we do as well. I forgot to bring it up on the screen because I haven't been paying attention to my
Ooh.
stream
You know what? I like that.
screen.
Just leave it at 5 things.
Yeah, but we do have, and this is kind of a hint as to what's to come. I have done a logo section for our homebrew of the week section. It's in the art channel. Yeah, it's in the Cursed Artlands channel. I'm gonna put it
Ooh.
up now if it will load.
Cursed Artlands. Let's have a look.
So the normal version's there, and I've done the homebrew of the week version.
Was this the little mimic barrel? That
Yes, little mimic barrel guy, and as soon as it loads up, it might take a blinking hot minute because I had to put my router inside for the past couple of
Wait,
days because of the storm.
is that
Sorry.
right? Yeah,
Processing. It might not do it, unfortunately.
that's fine.
Oh, there
So it
we
was me
go.
for a second.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, it's because my router is
I just saw a Hot Wheels duck.
Oh. Oh yes, that's the yeah, I custom painting of the Hot Wheels Goose Dragster as well. That's something I've been working on. I want to do more of my custom paint jobs.
That's
But yeah, because of the storm and because my router normally has to go outside to get decent connection, and it almost got blown away yesterday because of how fast the winds were.
right.
I had to keep it inside, so my internet connection suffered a little bit this week.
Brilliant. Love it.
But it is trying to send that, so we'll keep you in suspense for a moment. But
Oh dear.
essentially, it's the
It's,
above,
it's
but
like,
with a bunch
it's like
of
having your foot.
yeah, it's basically the above, but with a lot of foam coming out of it.
Oh, yeah.
If you can picture that. Because the idea was it's a homebrew
Oh.
barrel, like a beer barrel, but it's also a homebrew creature. Huh?
Oh, I
Homebrew
see
of the
it.
week. A little bit of a pun. A little bit of a
Oh, yeah,
pun.
okay.
We also have, if you look above the goose car, we have our new logo for when we do miniature of the month. It's a goose on a miniature base. I don't know what else to tell you.
I figured it would be a goose with you. Actually, were you into geese before an Untitled Goose Game? Was that just
Honestly, like
a happy
a
coincidence?
little bit, but no. Actually, it was Untitled Goose Game, and I was just like, that. You see that goose? That's me. That specific one. That's me. I am the chaotic little gremlin.
The one goose. Oh dear.
So yeah, there we go. That's the image sent.
Nice.
So yeah, so we do. I have been working on, I guess, production value of this podcast slowly. We've yet to have a jingle
We're
yet, but
getting there.
I might learn guitar
We're on
and
Joe Rogan next week.
yeah, I might learn
Not be
guitar and do a
mistake.
jingle. I was thinking of maybe using AI to do the jingle and just sing or talk a thing and do some editing sounds. But the issue is with AI, other than the moral stuff you might think of off the top of the head, is
You can't split the instruments out, can you?
not just that, but
It's all
you
one
do
sound file.
because I don't know what it's seated on. I don't know if one particular clip from the other might get copyright claimed for being too close to something else.
That would be it'd be a very interesting legal case to make, but I get what you
Yeah,
mean.
because all they would have to do is look at, okay, what's this like AI fed from, and they could go, well, our song's in there for some reason. I mean, admittedly, that would be partly the AI person's fault, but whoever made the AI using stuff they're not allowed to use. But you get the point. It's like I don't really want to be in legal hot water over stuff I don't quite understand.
That's fair.
Anyway,
It's telling me that all yeah, it's telling me that all my like Suno AI versions of Bring Me to Life, but it's just like reggae or anime version or something is not legally distinct enough.
I that's the it would probably come under fair use. I just don't I don't know enough the legalese to be like confident in
I get
saying
it.
yeah or no, and I err on the side of caution.
But just yeah, that's fair. Just imagine just being a professional lawyer and you're having to look up something like someone made as a joke, like trying to seriously
Yeah.
argue
Oh, we would truly be in a
Hawker version of
dystopia.
Baby Got Back
Yeah.
is
If we ever get to the point where people start copyright claiming memes, I'm just out. I'm gonna just leave the country. Like, no. It's
we're gonna get paper memes. I'm gonna put them on walls.
it's
Pretty much the
it's
first.
the black market of memes.
You go. You've seen Demolition Man?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
That's a really decent Sylvester Stallone movie.
Uh huh.
Um, where the future's really nice, but everything's quite like overly safe and clean. It's a bit of a nanny state.
Hmm.
So, and at one point in the film, uh, Sylvester Stallone's character and one of the future cops, or the cops of the present, I guess, goes down to just try to they go down to the sewers where people weirdly live now, and it's full of people that their entire beef is they don't like the government because they want to be able to have unhealthy food because they can't have that anymore because of weird laws about that kind of thing. They just want burgers. They just want to have like a nice greasy burger. That's like the one man's main point. It's like,
Aw.
what kind of vibe with that guy? Just
I
wants the
vibe with
right to
that
have a
universe.
burger that he knows is bad for him. Yeah. Also, really funny movie. Because especially in that, like the way, especially now, because it's trying to like guess the future in the like 90s. So it
Mm.
kind of got a few things wrong. Like there's it's like Wesley Snipes plays the villain in it, and he's again like a villain from I guess the 90s canonically. So he's used to being like a genuine street tough. These modern cops are like they haven't had to really fight anyone for like 30 years
Uh huh.
or more. So they're trying to talk him down, and he's just not going for it. There's this
Yeah.
really great dumb line in the middle of it where the line is, "Hang on, we're police officers. We're not trained for this kind of violence." It's always been funny to me now, even how policing actually ends up being. But a really funny movie. I'm not sure it was predicting right, but it's got like, a lot of like great in jokes. Yeah. Anyway, what we got next?
I think we're probably gonna call it there because it has been about an hour
Fair
on
enough.
the stream.
That was quick. Fair enough. Yeah.
Time flies
Well,
when
yeah.
you're
Fair enough
not
then.
talking about Wizards of the Coast as much as usual.
God, yeah. We've yeah. We've had to do 2 weeks in one. Right. So with any luck, next week, next Sunday should be fine.
Hmm.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we'll see you then.
Yeah, so I guess like a closing thought, I can't talk much on it because it's something much like Byzantia that I'm looking at doing as an actual paid product. But I had a weird dream a couple nights ago about
All
like
right, yeah. That we do.
a roguelike card slash board game, like a roguelike dungeon
Right.
style board game, and I was like, I have to make this, and I might make it as an actual product. It's like I have
Okay.
to make
That's
this. This is a wholly original thing. I have to make this now.
was this goose themed in any way? I'm gonna be surprised.
No, actually, the only reason I've
Oh
called
wow.
the only reason I've called the project name Untitled Roguelike Game is because I don't know what the title's gonna be yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You know what? I
know.
like that. I'm intrigued.
So
Okay.
we are going to
Um.
raid out. Thank you everybody for joining. We are going to who should we raid? Who is a good
Oh,
person to raid right now? I feel like we should raid Shadow at Noon, who is doing Jingle Jam stuff. If you don't know what Jingle Jam is, it is a big charity drive thing. I think run by the
game jam.
Yogscast. I really love supporting it because they're doing charitable stuff for some pretty good charities, one of which being a really good autism charity, which I really do support. An actual good one, not Autism
Which one?
Speaks. I think it's like, is it like, I can't remember the name. It'll be on the Jingle Jam website. I think can't remember the name. I I remember asking somebody about it, but I can't remember, but they were actually good. They actually give autistic proper support to autistic people.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyway,
I'll change your pace.
yeah. So copy that raid message below, and we shall see you guys next time on the Byzantian Brewscast
Next time.
podcast. Well, just
Nice.
anyway.
I'll change your pace.
Yeah.
We
So
put the
copy that outro, I guess.
Yeah. What a cappella it's fine.